From Start Business in France, and I help English speakers create and develop their business in France. I wanted to record this short video to show you how to request some financial help if your business or freelancing activity is suffering from the impact of the COVID-19 and slowing down of the economy. I have already written a couple of articles going through all the different help made available by the government. And to name a few, the first thing that you can start doing is by asking URSSAF, SSI or the tax office to postpone some of the bills. Each time you have to log on to your online account, whether it's URSSAF, SSI or the business tax office, for instance, to ask to postpone your TVA bill or to ask to postpone or stop your CFE monthly payments, which can be a small help. There's also another financial help which is called Actions Sanitaire et Sociale, which is interesting for those of you who may not be able to request the aide financière of 1,500 euros that I'm going to be talking about today. If you created your activity recently or if you don't have a personal French tax office, numéro fiscal, tax number, numéro fiscal, my advice would be to look at the Actions Sanitaire et Sociale, which is a financial help given by SSI and URSSAF, and on this particular article you have a link to the ASS application form, which is a more detailed form because URSSAF and SSI want to see which kind of expenses you have, which kinds of loan you have to reimburse, how much you've lost, but that's an alternative to the help I'm going to be talking about today. Another thing that you can do also if you have a shop and you had to close down because it's not seen as one of the main activities that have to stay open, you can ask your landlord to freeze your rent, so it will be paid later on. And you can also do the same for your utility bills if you have a professional account. So for the electricity, gas, you could ask, for instance, for that bill to be postponed for later on. So today I'm going to be talking about the financial help which comes from the Fond de Solidarité, which is a fund which has money from the government and from regions, and which will give companies up to 1,500 euros for those companies who have either had to shut down. When I mean companies, it can be a freelancer, a sole trader, a shop, SAS, SARL, it doesn't matter the size of the company, provided you have less than 10 employees. So for those of you, you might have 1,500 euros, provided either the activity had to close down due to the administrative closure with COVID-19 and the confinement, or if you lost at least 50% of your turnover if we compare your sales of March 2019 to March 2020. So that's quite interesting because initially this financial help was focused on businesses which had lost at least 70% of their turnover, and the government has announced that it was reduced, it was actually open to businesses who had lost at least 50% of their turnover. So this help is quite easy to request, even if your French is fairly limited, because we're going to use your personal income tax accounts. Although we're requesting money because your business is struggling because of the economy, we are going to request for this help via the personal income tax account, espace particulier. So the tricky part means that you need to have had already made a French income tax declaration or requested for your numéro fiscal in the past in order to be doing this, since you need to go online. So for those of you who never have declared personal income tax form or haven't requested for the numéro fiscal, my advice is to get in touch with your local office in order to get this numéro fiscal, because I'm not aware that this is feasible by paper for now. So on my blog there's also an article on how to get your personal French tax number, and I will add a link to those articles below the video so you can search into, you can have a look into it, and here you have a link to the form. The tax office is pretty helpful, so you can call them for help or see whether they have an alternative. But for now, I'm not aware of this financial help being available on paper form. So if you are lucky to have a personal tax number, we're going to go on votre espace particulier and enter your numéro fiscal. So you will find your numéro fiscal on your income tax attestation. So if you filed the French tax last year, after you filed it, you have what we call une attestation d'imposition sur le revenu, and on there you have your numéro fiscal. So add the numéro fiscal, add the password, and we're going to connect. And we're going to go on the top right hand side here, we have Messagerie sécurisée, and we're going to click on this mailbox, and we're going to go on to écrire un message, écrire, look right down, at the bottom of that drop down, je demande l'aide aux entreprises fragilisées par l'épidémie Covid-19. And here you have the form, création d'une demande, ma demande d'aide aux entreprises fragilisées Covid-19. So the form is fairly simple. This first section here, you're going you need to take the time obviously to read it, but you're going to confirm that your activity was created before the 1st of February 2020, that you weren't into, it's limited for companies who were really into financial trouble when we have cessation de paiement, they can't pay the taxes, but the situation was before the crisis, they can't benefit from that help. So, and you also need to have less than 10 employees for the shop to have been closed down, or to have, for your activity if you're freelancing or a small business from working from home, have lost at least 50% of your turnover. So I'll leave you the time to read through these conditions on your own time. You're going to confirm that you fit in with those attestation. Here you indicate whether or not you have some employees. So if you have a SAL or SAS, I have some employees. Enter the number of employees you have, whether it's a short-term contract or permanent contract. If you're a sole trader or auto-entrepreneur, I don't have any employees, just enter 0. And then if we go down, then you're going to have your personal details. So name, surname. The qualité is your title. So if you're a micro-entrepreneur or sole trader, you are entreprise individuelle. If you have an incorporated business, you have gérant de société. If you're accountant, your accountant will manage this for you. Then you add your email address, and then you're going to add your SIRET number. So if you look at the INSEE attestation or the extrait cabis that you had when you registered your business, you have the SIRET number, which is a 15-digit number. The SIREN is the first 9 digits of this number, and the NIC is the NIC number is the last 5-digit numbers. So add your SIRET here, that indicate the region you are in, and then mention which period you're asking this financial help for. So for now it's only for March, but the government has announced that in April the help will be there as well. I don't believe that the help is renewable every month. For now it's more of a one-off, so if you haven't lost that much turnover this month, maybe you want to be waiting for next month if you think that the impact would be stronger, because the help of 1,500 is adapted to how much you have lost in terms of turnover. It's not 1,500 for everybody, it's according to how much you've lost in percentage of your turnover. So I'm going to say March. And then you need to indicate whether you are asking for this financial help because your business or your shop was closed down to the public, or because you've lost at least 50% of your turnover. So in this case, I'm going to say losing 50% of the turnover. And then it will ask you for your turnover in March 2019 and your turnover in March 2020. So this is how much sales you've made, how much you've cashed in over the month. And this is what they will use as the proof of losing some income. I can't complete those sales now because as I haven't completed the information above, it won't let me enter the second number. So for instance, let's say I had a turnover in March 2019 of 10,000 euros, and this month I only had 5,000 euros, I would say 10,000 here, 5,000 here. You round the number up or down. So for instance, if you have 1,200 euros and 80 centimes, you round it up to 1, and if it's below the 50 centimes, you round it down. And you will see that once you enter your turnover for 2019 and 2020, it will automatically say what they assume will be the tax. It's not obviously 1,500 for everybody, it's according to how much you've lost. And below you will indicate the bank details on which you want the financial help to be paid, and you have to tick that you confirm that the information is correct. If you want to come back to this form because you have to check some information, you click on Enregistrer un brouillon. If you're happy with everything and you want to transfer it, you click on Valider. Be aware that the tax office has announced that for now they're not asking for proof, but they might come back to you in a few months' time. They might do random checks to ensure that people weren't cheating. So my advice is to keep proofs of the loss of income, the loss of sales. So it could be an email from your customers cancelling an order, or it could be a proof that you didn't have the stock to produce the equipment, you couldn't access to the sites for the building sites, for instance. And for instance, if a customer calls you, my advice is to ask them to send you an email so you have a written confirmation showing the proof of cancellation, and keep that somewhere on your computer so that in the future, if the tax office comes back to you, you can show those proofs. So you see the form is fairly simple. Even if you don't speak too much French, you can request this help. My advice is, if you haven't lost so much turnover this year and you think next month's going to be worse, for instance, if you just, it sounds quite bad to say if you just lost 50% of the turnover because it's very awful, but if you think next month is going to be worse, maybe you want to postpone it for that request for April because it's not sure you can renew it. So that's pretty simple request to send. I will refer you to the few articles I've written on my blog recently, so you can see there's already a few on how to ask for that Fond de Solidarité, the several measures that were taken before, and the initial government measures. If I hear more, I will update those articles and give you links below this video. The other help, I would say, if you can't request this financial help now, the alternative for now is to look at the Fond, l'Action Sanitaire et Sociale. So it's the second part on that particular article. And this is what the forms looks like. If I look at the SSS application form, that's the form that you send to URSSAF and SSI. There's basic information about your business, your personal information, situation, business, your partner, and then you have to give some information about the charges you have per month, whether it's rent, whether it's loans that you have to reimburse, taxes, insurance, and how much you've made. So it's a bit more complicated, and you also have to justify why you think you could benefit from financial help. But if you don't have a personal tax number, that's a good alternative. I would say finally, if you are trading and you registered with Chambre de Commerce, or if you are an artisan, manual services, and you registered with Chambre de Métier, my advice is to get in touch with them, because they're the local contact to really summarize the different help that they're going to guide you. There's also a regional help that can be requested from the région, which is up to 2,000 euros for companies who are really in financial trouble. And that will be probably managed by Chambre de Commerce and Chambre de Métier, because they're the link for the region. You can also get in touch for your bank to ask to secure or postpone your reimbursement of your bank loans, and if you're already in trouble, you can also have some guarantee from BPI, which is the National Bank, to help secure your bank loans. If you have an accountant, your accountant is your first point of contact, because they'll be up to speed with all the actions that can be taken. So don't stay on your own, get in touch with your Chambre de Commerce, the Chambre de Métier, or your accountant. These people will guide you as to what could be done for your business, and they will give you the right form or put you in touch with the right person. So I wish you all the best. I know it's a very tough time for all of us. Hopefully we'll pick through this really bad time, and soon again we'll be able to work like before.